welcome, Algebra. Today we're going to talk about solving equations with variables on each side. And I have a special guest audience. Oh, man. So they've been working on solving this, and they find it extremely easy, and I think you will too.
What? I didn't find it easy at all.
Actually, I told them it was like watching chimpanzees type Shakespeare.
But we're not 100.
So, just like if I had variables all on one side, our basic strategy on these problems is always the same. We're trying to get variables on one side and numbers on the other. Because eventually it's going to be like x equals something, right? So it's going to be variables on one side, numbers on the other. So the first thing I would do is I'm just going to move the variables. And I could either move the 6x to that side, or I can move the 4x to that side. I have a definite preference. I like to always have my things positive. Okay, I'm kind of a positive person. But it doesn't matter. I can do the other way. But when I see this, I'm usually going to take the smaller one away from the bigger one if I can. Okay? So I subtract 4x here, and I subtract 4x there. Okay? Or the way that I usually do it is I just pretend it goes to the other side and becomes negative 4x. This goes away. And then 6x minus 4x gives us 2x. Just like 6 apples minus 4 apples gives you 2 apples. So now we have the variables on this side, so let's move the numbers to the other. So I'm going to move that number to the other side, and it becomes positive 4. Or if you like to do it the other way, we add 4 there and we add 4 there. It doesn't matter. So that's going to go away now. And now I got 3 numbers, so the next step naturally would be to simplify, right? 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 10 equals 2x. And then the last step is you want x by itself. So since we're multiplying by 2, what are you going to have to do to get rid of it? Correct, Fallon, we're going to divide by 2. So I'm going to divide 2 here, or I just usually think of it as going to the other side and dividing by 2. Okay? So x equals 5. And if you want to check it, oh, I forgot my original problem now.
It's 2 plus 4x plus 4 equals 6x minus 4.
I wrote this in tens, though.
Equals what?
6x minus 4.
6x minus 4. You just stick 5 there, and you stick 5 there. And you get 2 plus 20 plus 4 equals 30 minus 4. And you'll see that it works out. Okay?
Oh my gosh!
So,
I feel so much smarter!
No talking on camera.
You're talking on camera, though.
So the steps that I always think you should do on these kind of problems is your general strategy is always going to be you're getting variables on one side and the numbers on the other. So that's your general thing you're keeping in mind. Now to get there, you might first have to simplify. Like ours, we had 2 numbers on one side, and it would have been nicer to kind of just add those together and get separate, get them together. Okay, but you could do that afterwards like I did. It doesn't matter. And then the last thing is you're going to solve for the variable. Okay, in this case it was x. So you're going to get x equals something, or whatever variable it is. Okay, so those are your general strategies for solving any kind of equations with unknowns. Is you're going to simplify them, you're going to move the variables to one side, numbers to the other, and then eventually you're going to just peel away the things, like if it was 6 times x divided by 4, you're going to peel those away until you have x equals something. All right? Okay, good job. I'll see you tomorrow.